Netflix embraced AI slop. Oh yeah, I did see this. So Netflix is using AI now. I totally forgot about this. Damn, I don't know how I didn't fucking post about this at all. Give me a minute. Let me go back. I'm gonna get into this real quick and look at it. So basically, Netflix is going and using AI now. So, Netflix will show generative AI ads midway through streams in 2026. Netflix is joining its streaming rivals in testing the amount of ads and advertisements that subscribers are willing to endure for lower prices. Today, the second annual upfront to advertisers, the streaming leader announced that it has created interactive mid-roll ads and pause ads that incorporate generative AI. Subscribers can start expecting to see these ads in 2026. That's right, boys. That's right. And you know, the thing is, Netflix is driving into generated AI ads, whether we like it or not. And the fact is, guys, AI is the future. If you don't like AI, you don't like the fact that this is happening, and you're mad about this or whatever, ain't nobody give a fuck. That is it, bro. Like, this shit is happening whether you like it or not. It's a great way to support piracy. Yeah, I think so. Maybe, right? You watch Bernie talk about Democrat Party. Yeah, only a little bit, right? What about the immigrants that went through the right procedures and were in the process of citizenship? After the time of money, they got the rug yanked out from under them. Your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, that sounds kind of bad. I mean, I think that if they're, what do you call it? If they're immigrating and they're in the process of doing it, I don't, why would we deport them? Like, I also, by the way, like, I am not, like, if you try to make the argument against me that there are some people that will be negatively affected by this, that argument doesn't work for me. Like, I don't care. Just straight up, I don't give a shit. Like, of course people will be negatively affected that shouldn't be. Duh. Like, that's the way with anything. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but, like, every law that's made has somebody in jail for that law that shouldn't be in jail for that law. That's just the way it is. Yeah, everybody gets convicted of laws and things that they shouldn't be convicted and put in jail for. This happens constantly. So if you want to go and act like this is a big deal, there will be mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. And if you want to, like, oh, but what about, no, mistakes is just the way it should be. That's life. That's just the way it goes. They're being through in the process. Yeah. You were speaking about the 500K. That's only what the 500K of Venezuela's on TPS were, though. Yeah, but they shouldn't have been on that to begin with, and it should have never happened. And so just getting rid of them is a better idea. We don't need 500. Like, you really think the country needs 500,000 Venezuelans to come over here? No, I don't fucking think so. I don't really see how does this serve America's best interest to bring over 500,000 Venezuelans? No, bro. Like, I'm sorry. That not for me. The big, yeah. I mean, if a few of the hot ones can stay, I think probably like the top, like 10,000. I think that's fair, right? The top 10,000 hot ones can stay. All the rest of them, they have to go back.
Let the ink flow.
That's no. I'm just. Am I wrong? I think that's fair. That's totally fair. Like, what's wrong with that? Does that include dudes? No.
On me.
Of course not. And, no, just the girl. Just the hot one. That's it, no. And, yeah. Definitely not. We don't need any... I don't need any more competition. It's already hard enough out here, bro. You're trying to make it worse? No! Insane comment. Yeah, what an idiot, bro. Ugly dudes. Yes, it's nuts. Minimum cup size? Oh, it depends, right? But anyway, so yeah, Netflix is putting AI ads and everything, and this is just what's going to happen.
That's more like it.
Some people are complaining about it. They're mad about AI. But I do think this is going to be the future. And it's just going to get more and more extreme as AI becomes more and more popular and people get this is, I saw this. So I haven't really talked about this at all. is that there's been like this really, really weird thing that's been going on about Amarath and her husband, I guess. I'm gonna be real, like, I think it's just really sad. That's the truth. I think it's just really, really sad. And I made a comment on it before, and a lot of people actually think that it's fake. They think that it's fake. They think that she's making it all up and it's not happening. And I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, people think that it's a fake. I'll tell you this. If it is fake, like this is what I said about it. I said, honestly, this whole situation is really sad. The silver lining to this is that hopefully with such a well-documented toxic and abusive relationship, people who see the same things manifesting in their own relationships will notice and be able to disconnect before it's too late. Which, ironically, even if it is fake, that still means the same fucking thing. It does. Like, I'm still glad about this because, like, now people can at least see this. And they're like, people keep saying Amarath and her husband situation reminds you of you and Hassan's relationship. I think, honestly, it's even worse than that. Like, from some of the clips I think it might even be worse. And that's a lot, dude. Wow. She seems extremely, no, I'm not going in. I'm not even going to make a comment on it. I'm just saying I think it's really sad. But I think that it's good that now people can get an idea of, like, what it's really like with, what do you call it? What it's really like with some of these, like, weird things happening. And let's see here. Balochistan declares independence. Oh fuck. So they're going all the way with this too. Oh my god. Yeah, this is it. Like, I'm really not that surprised, honestly. I'm not at all. Free Balochistan? Yeah, apparently, right? I mean, like, I don't know why more people don't talk about that, honestly. I really don't.
Oh, lovely.
But I guess they don't really care too much about it for whatever reason. I have no idea why. And this is really funny for me to see this happen. So, now that it's been a day or two, there has been all right, Baldy, now it's time to shit on Marathon. So there's an article written today, and I'm going to show you the article. The article is written by, I mean, this is by Paul Tassi. I've been critical of Paul Tassi in the past. I've disagreed with a number of things he said. Not all things, but some things. And he just made an article. And he's been a Bungie, I'm not going to say fanboy, but he's played Bungie games and, like, Destiny games a lot, right? He's been into the games a lot. He makes an article, he says, it's just over for Marathon.
Blade cut through the flame.
This is Marathon right now, guys. This is it. What Paul Tassi is saying is done, it's really done. If he's saying the Bungie game is done, it's bad. And, but no, it's over. I tried to put this off for a while now, giving Marathon the benefit of the doubt in terms of fixing what ails it, maybe snagging an audience that's large enough to make it at least sustainable. But no, it's over. I can't do this anymore. This probably has always been true, but the events of the past week have cemented it. I will get into the live stream and the plagiarism and all of this later, what's currently going wrong, but the future does not look bright. Not looking bright is only the beginning. I'm telling you guys, like, this is really, really, really bad. I think the game might actually be cooked.
Bungie is cooked. This is like watching a train wreck in slow motion. If you guys do not delay this game, you know what? No. It makes for far better content. Heck of a lot more entertaining than Marathon, I'll tell you that right. They just got caught red-handed, lifting art from some
One of the worst things about Assassin's Creed Shadows is the fact that it came out. You know how many videos I made about that game? And then it finally comes out and it's over.
I can do it.
That sucks. I hate it when video games come out.
random artists on Twitter and just throwing it into Marathon. The funny thing is, this isn't even the first time that these guys have gotten caught doing something like this before. It's so lazy. It's so scummy. It's so blatant. And it shows how little creativity the studio has left and how hard and fast they're trying to rush Marathon out the gate. I played Marathon, and I can say with absolute confidence, it's not going to work.
Nope.
It doesn't stand a chance. They don't.
The thing is that I was on vacation when Marathon came out, but when I saw that Shroud didn't even play it for a day, I was like, wow. Holy shit.
Understand the audience, they don't understand the game, they don't understand the genre, and it's so woefully uninspired that it makes a lot of sense as to why they're just copying things that other people are doing, and in some cases copying their art, I guess.
Maybe not Shroud, or somebody else. Like, but either way, it was like one of those people. It might have been like Lyric or somebody like that, like, or I don't know. It might have been somebody else. He played it for a bunch of days. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
As well. You compare this to a game like Arc Raiders, and the contrast between the two of them couldn't be any more clear. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the allegations against Bungie and their artwork, and also the pitiful reception of Marathon. They are not going to beat the Concord allegations.
Oh,
Bungie seems to have a very close relationship.
No, they cannot be Concord 2 anymore. Now they're Art Raiders. It's just better.
With
you know what this guy looks like? He looks like a really, really badly done AI version of an androgynous version of fucking what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy 1? Rodon or something like that. That guy that, like, you know, Ronan. Yeah, Ronan.
What?
Yeah, bro. He looks like a soy version.
She taught them how to paint.
At least over the last 3 years. One of the first instances we saw of this was actually back in 2021 for the Witch Queen expansion of Destiny 2, where Twitter user Relay314's fan art of Xivu Arath was used 1-for-1 in-game without permission or notification.
So this is the first time that they have done it. Okay, right.
We're like underwater, but we're not.
If you can't immediately tell the gender of the characters in a video game is going to be garbage.
That guy looks scary. It's a vendor. Hello there, you're new. Haven't seen you a lot before. How'd you get here? Me, I've been stuck here for ages. Trevor's ground starts floating, then bam, here I was, all by my lonesome.
And if you have already reached the level of rot, that thinking androgynous characters
Lonely
is what
too, know you
audience
talk to,
wants.
except I'm quite an adept conversationalist.
game
Yeah, I can talk enough for two. That and scavenging odds and ends has kept me quite busy. I'm a merchant after all. What's a merchant with no wares?
Because it's made by Track.
Expansion, it happened again. Julian
It's a
Falona's
walking bit of
artwork was
storage.
lifted and used
Sad.
inside of a cutscene. And again in 2024, when Bungie collaborated with Hasbro to make a Nerf replica of the Ace of Spades
I'll buy
pistol
one of
from
these.
Destiny 2, this time lifting the entire design from the artist Tofu Rabbit,
Gargano
aside from a
or
recolor and some
Spaces,
minor
Spaces,
cosmetic
Spaces,
changes.
They just took that
In every one of these
Attack
cases,
applies
Bungie pointed the blame to a third-party contractor that they had outsourced their work to resolve the issues quietly and then
Avenge my brother's
compensated the
torment.
artist. Actually, as we speak, Bungie is in the middle of an active lawsuit with writer Kelsey
That guy
Martin, who
showed up
alleges
all the way
that
here?
SC2's
Oh my
Red War
God.
campaign in 2017 and the Curse of Osiris expansion copied elements from his sci-fi operation.
This one is like kind of okay.
This music reminds me of
This
the
is
first
like,
area.
you know what this is? It's like again, it's like what I said about how whenever you take a Photoshop text and the first time you use Photoshop and you apply every different like filter to it, like bold, background, overlay, you know, like print, everything on it, you put all of them at the same time.
Published on WordPress between 2013 and 2014. He's claimed similarities in the name of the Red Legion, the antagonist's motivations, and several narrative elements, like a celestial entity, the use of flamethrowers, and a consciousness transfer. Bungie filed a motion to dismiss the case, but the judge ended up rejecting it,
But at least those memories
evidence
remain.
due to Bungie's inability to provide a playable version of the
What hurts
allegedly
more are the
plagiarized
memories
content.
unmade.
Wow.
And that's all because the Red War and Curse of
The
Osiris
conversations
expansions don't
we'll
exist
never have.
anymore. They're part of
The
content that
time
Bungie
we'll never
involved in.
It's like,
spend.
who the fuck wants to play like a bitch with a microwave on her head?
I want
retarded.
rage to consume me.
Who thought this was a good idea?
Anything to fill the hollow.
You stupid. What?
The rage won't come.
Fucking what the fuck is this?
I just float in an endless
The game then
nothingness.
deleted all the files
Really?
altogether for reasons that can never fully be explained.
The
This is
person
the
I
same move
cannot
that
be around
alienated
is
a huge
Alicia.
portion of their player base. Bungie removed content from the
Her
game that
pain is
players
a
had
broken
paid for,
mirror.
claiming that they
What?
needed to do it to
The
get more
shards
memory
reflecting back
space for future
tenfold, and
expansions.
every
And I'll
moment
be
with
honest
her
with
the
you
cuts
guys,
deepen,
as a
and I
player
feel
who owned that
myself
content,
unraveling.
there is nothing more satisfying than watching this come back to bite them
I
in the
know
ass.
what he'll
And now here
say.
we are in 2025, and Bungie has still not
But
learned
this
their
is the
lessons.
first time I felt
Nobody
any
wants to look at
surcease.
This is weird, bro. Like, look at this. This is
For a few moments a day,
Who does this appeal to?
my heart beats again.
This is gross, man. Like, ugh. Marilyn Manson? No, that's not true. Bro, Marilyn Manson in like the 90s, I'm not gay, but he was a really attractive guy. He was a really good looking guy. It's not even close.
User and artist N2, also known as Anti-Real or @Anti-Real in Lead Speak, has called them out once again, this time for lifting their artwork and using it without permission in Marathon's alpha. These accusations aren't vague, they were direct, specific, and backed up with visual evidence. On Twitter, they shared images and wrote, "The Marathon Alpha released recently and its environments are covered with assets lifted from poster designs I made in 2017. Bungie is of course not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws overwhelmingly from the same design language I have refined for the last decade. But clearly my work is good enough to pillage for ideas and plaster all over their game without any pay or attribution."
This is also after they said that it was all a mistake. Bungie says this is a mistake. After multiple people, including the person who runs the art for the game, has followed this individual on Twitter for a long period of time, predating this event occurring.
I don't have the resources nor the energy to spare to pursue this legally, but I have lost count of how many
Do
times
now.
a major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or steal my work rather than to write me an email. In 10 years, I've never made a consistent income from my work, and I'm tired of designers
You know
from
what I
huge
find to be even funnier about that? Is that I bet paying some random Twitter artist would have been cheaper than paying the designer. Like, they could have probably just paid this person less money and you would have had the same thing done. But you go with some industry designer that copy pastas something from Twitter. Like, it's really, you're paying more money to get a knockoff version of something instead of just buying the real thing.
companies mood boarding and parasiting my designs while I struggle to make a living. Another Twitter user pointed out that Joseph Cross, the art director at Bungie, follows Anti-Real on Twitter and asked if there might be a connection. The artist had responded saying he's followed me for a few years and a few others from Bungie, never heard any communication. Just to add insult to injury, mainstream media outlets began circulating fake quotes from the artist, attempting to sensationalize the story further by fabricating statements like, "I'm completely floored. This is my full-time job.
Insane fake quote.
I sell these posters online. They're not obscure. A major company has deemed it easier to pay a designer to imitate or trace than license or commission the work." This didn't come from the artist, and using fake quotes to farm clicks on top of an artist that's already being
If you're fake quoting somebody for something that they said,
Game by the spiders?
like,
Maybe?
you do not hate journalists enough.
Yes.
You do not.
Yes, it is in fact about spiders.
exploited is a special kind of vile.
So
Now, if things
dishonest.
weren't sketchy already, just 2 weeks ago, before these allegations went public, Joseph Cross, the art director for Bungie, posted on Twitter about how excited they were to work with Krupa Hosk, a brand and design agency that Bungie had brought on to help with visual development,
Yeah.
identity, custom typography, and ARG campaigns for Marathon. This almost feels like a preemptive PR buffer, as if they know that these accusations might start to surface,
my
and they
God,
were
that was
preparing to have a
fast as
scapegoat
fuck.
just in case.
Yeah, 'cause they
But
follow
let's be
this
real
person,
here. These third-party
they know.
agencies are just a shield. Bungie uses them because they know most gamers are never going to remember their names. The public backlash will hit Bungie, but the legal and creative blame will just get pushed onto somebody else. Bungie writes the checks when they get caught, and the key word there is when, because these are only the cases that made it to public attention. How many other ones never got noticed? I mean, this has been going on for over 5 years now, and I have a really...
Yeah, what do you think the odds are that the only cases of stealing art were the ones that were discovered.
Hard time believing that Bungie
jeez,
somehow,
guys.
some way
Ooh,
keeps
what are
managing
the
to
odds?
coincidentally hire art thieves over and over again. The common denominator here in every single one of these situations isn't the freelancers or third-party vendors.
Okay, well, at least it's
Bungie.
large.
So why does this keep happening? Why?
That's a good point.
And it's not able to, like, hide
You
from me.
keep hiring all of these people.
So I'm
But you
guessing
keep
my
getting
goal
the
is some
same
form
result.
of escape.
At
Right.
a certain point,
Just not
how does
sure.
this keep happening to just you?
Okay.
Do they keep doing this? Well, that's because they just don't have the time or the talent anymore. Bungie has laid off aggressively in recent years.
Yeah.
A lot of the talent that they let go were key contributors to games like Halo, Destiny, and Destiny 2. And with Destiny 2 in decline and pressure from Sony mounting ever since they acquired Bungie in 2022, they simply do not have the same creative force behind their projects anymore. They are rushing Marathon and other content out the door to meet deadlines and deliver returns. And when time runs out and creativity is thin, people take shortcuts. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense because Marathon feels like a game that's being shoved out the door, ready or not. Bungie has done almost nothing to engage with their audience before the release of the closed alpha, and then their entire rollout of the game has been messy. The initial teaser had some intrigue.
I remember the initial video of Marathon looked kind of cool, and I was a little bit excited for it. And then everything after that, I mean, the vibe of it originally like was kind of good, but then when they started showing the characters and everything, bro, it was cooked. It was cooked.
In the cinematic trailer, people like the ARG.
And the advertising is good advertising. Well, you know who says that? A person who doesn't work in advertising. How'd that work for Concord?
The elements and the visual direction, but the gameplay trailer absolutely tanked. As the time of this writing, it has 24,000 dislikes. Most of the
Jesus.
comments are flaming the game. They've also delivered nothing but mixed messaging. They told Destiny 2 PvE players that Marathon isn't for
Jesus.
them, despite the fact that it's their loyalty, time, and spending that funded Bungie's
Well, this might be something like I remember everything as usual. Do you remember when Bungie, after a while, and they focus tested Marathon around a bunch of like Escape from Tarkov streamers, and all of the Escape from Tarkov streamers said like, yeah, we don't really think this game is very good. And then like 2 months later, they were like releasing it. Remember that? Yeah. They all hated it. Yep.
projects in the first place. Instead of honoring their core audience, they are chasing a new one they don't even understand, in a genre that they've never even developed in before. It's yet another case of a studio abandoning what made them successful in favor of mimicking what's trendy. And honestly, what else would a mimic do other than copy everything else around it? We are going to see a lot more of this. A lot
These
more.
are
All these
memories.
companies that have been complaining about
How do you
rising
know that?
development costs, all these layoffs that
Come
we've seen,
here.
that is all pressure that is
I
being
can
laid on top of these
read it.
designers and artists. And
That's
the
right.
more that they have them making these cookie cutter games, these copy paste projects, the less time and resources and experience they have to be able to make anything, the less creative freedom they have, well, the more likely they are to start cutting corners. And part of that is because they're just trying to save time more than anything else, but the other part of it is they just don't care. That's why you see stuff like this. We see this with workers that are just phoning it in for a paycheck because they feel like they're forced to do the work, because they feel wholly uninspired by it, because they're not being led properly. And as a result, you get something that is uninspired, and you get something that most of the times ends up being plagiarized.
Soon. Soon it's
Journalism is going through the same thing. Games journalism specifically is going
A
through the same
storm
thing.
is coming.
After the Polygon video, I actually had some writers reach out to me and they said, you have no idea how bad it is for us right now. All of these companies have basically made it where, you know, we have $20 an article, you have to put out 50 articles a week, you can only talk about very specific games, only the biggest games, and you can only write about it in a very specific way. That's the reason why we get a lot of the writing that we get. And I think that's a fitting description for what Marathon is,
Elements
because they're under the
converge.
exact same pressure, that exact same situation right now, where they're being forced to make a game that I don't think that they actually want to make. Sure, there's probably a few people that are there that are all about it, but it's not
2.5 to 3.5 games.
Sony has invested too much money in them for too little return, and they are desperate for a live service hit. And if Bungie's not the one to give it to them, that's not going to work out for them. They have wasted billions of dollars at this point trying to get their own live service. And I blame them. It's not it. With better competition that's out on the market, with better competition that's right around the corner that delivered an alpha at the same time as yours, it's just not going to work out. This is going to be a last-ditch effort, a Hail Mary with nobody there to catch it. Now, in a lot of cases, when I'm feeling off about a game, whether it's in the previews or the early footage, I tend
Blade
to
cut through the flames.
Maybe I'm overly critical. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. Maybe I just need to get hands-on with it to see the full picture.
Ready
Then I
to
played
parry.
Marathon and Dark Raiders now.
I assume that if my first impression of the game,
Careful, my
if
ult.
I think the game is bad in 5 seconds, the game is bad.
Sweet tasting battle.
That's it. Instantaneous. Like, cause again, if you can't nail 5 seconds, how the fuck are you gonna nail 50 hours? And every once in a while, I get it wrong. But I usually don't.
I was being way too generous with Marathon. Let me just go ahead and throw a flag on the play right now and say it outright. Marathon is one step removed from Concord. The only thing this game has going for it is the Marathon name in a wildly interesting universe. Beyond that, this is one of the most blatant, uninspired, trend-chasing corporate pasteboard games that I have ever touched.
You guys watch that gameplay? Like, go back and watch this gameplay again.
Blatant, uninspired, trend-chasing corporate pasteboard games that
Lightning
I
dance!
going for it is the Marathon name in a wildly interesting universe.
I'm ready.
Beyond that, this is one of the most blatant, uninspired, trend-chasing corporate pasteboard games that I have ever touched. I would go as far to say that Dragon Age the Veilguard had more flavor than Marathon. This is
What lovely feet.
Yeah, because Dragon Age Veilguard was at least Rainbow Sherbert. This is just plain yogurt.
There is nothing in this game that stands out. Not one mechanic, not one
Let
system,
the
not
ink
one
flow.
moment where I sat back and thought to myself, damn, this is what makes Marathon special. They took the basic template of an extraction shooter, filled it with loot that you don't even care about, slapped on some faction grinds for the illusion of depth, jammed in some Apex Legends hero abilities, copied on Destiny 2's gunplay, and dropped it all
Careful,
into a
Maya.
flat, lifeless world where everything looks the same. When I say everything looks the same, I mean literally. The environments are so homogenous and color drained that I found myself disoriented all the time. Not because it was clever map design, but because it all just blurs together. I wish I actually had more to tell you guys about the gameplay loop, but I was mentally checked out within 10 minutes of firing this game up. The matches felt
That's a long
empty, the
time.
tutorial was like an afterthought, there was no pressure, no tension, no reason to care. It's the kind of game that you forget the moment that you close it, if you
There's
even...
another big component to this, which is that extraction shooters by definition are hardcore games. You're never going to have an extraction shooter game that's going to have 1 million players, right? At least not in the near future. Any game that has negative progression that's that extreme is never going to be massively appealing to an average player because average players don't have that amount of time to invest into it. That's it. Arc Raiders incoming. Arc Raiders is going to be a popular game. And I'm sure people
Wait, I
will
am
play it at the
lost.
beginning.
Where was I?
But I think it will level off the same as every
We were
other
at that
extraction
flag,
shooter game
I
and every
got
other
that,
extraction
but I
game
think
does,
maybe
even like
did I
Dark
go
and
down
Darker.
here, or did I come up?
And it will have a narrow but dedicated audience. And I think that a narrow but dedicated audience is great, but whenever you're a studio like Bungie, you have to, like, you're so big, you have to target a more mainstream audience than just like a very small amount of people like that.
Didn't make it that far. And I am not the only one that feels this way. A former Bungie designer, Vince, who now goes by Crackle Grove on YouTube, recently called out Bungie's art direction, pointed out the overuse of cool colors, blue tints, and
different Truth and Reconciliation was than I don't know, the maps in like the open on the beach, right? I mean, I think actually that's all part of the same level, like for that example, or like the last level in the game, right? Pillar of Autumn, yeah, exactly. Silent Cartographer, yeah, like it's totally different spectacle, right? Totally different game, and like the vibes, like the thing is that, like if you look at this. This is Halo.
Blades sharp.
This is I get a good image of it. Bro, this shit went so hard.
You can't escape.
Like this is insane. Back then.
This will hurt.
This came out over 20 years ago. This had absolute fucking like dude was driving across the bridge on the Warhawk. Do you guys remember that? Yeah. It's still good. Yeah, no, it's still good. That's what's crazy about it, is it is still good. Even now.
Please survive.
That's the difference between like graphical fidelity and art direction.
Ready to evade.
Is it this game had way back then? The graphics for this game were next level. Like Halo for its time, the graphics were fucking insane.
Ready to parry.
Build marathon for me was just a general win. Same thing that I felt going from Baldur's Gate 3 to Starfield, from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to Avowed. It's that sense of expectation crash, that realization that you're playing something with no soul after coming from something that was brimming with it. Because just before I got into Marathon, I played Arc Raiders, and that game gets it. The moment you step into the world, it commands your attention. It is so breathtakingly beautiful. The lighting, the detail, the sound design, it all works here. You feel like an explorer that is constantly surfing the sound alone becomes a mechanic. Crouch, listen, stop. You can hear these bark machines before you even see them, and you're avoiding fights because you don't want to blow your cover. That tension is constantly building with every single item that you collect. You're calculating your risk. Should I push for more loot? Should I break for extraction? One wrong move, a metal detector, a flock of birds, and your position is blown. You jump, you panic, you play it smart because the game is pushing you to. And Arc Raiders actually understands the audience that it's going for. It's an extraction shooter.
Like, the thing is that Arc Raiders, I think, like, again, like, I watched a little bit of other people play it. I didn't play it myself. I think a lot of games are trying to recapture that vibe that the original PUBG had. Because, like, there was a vibe that the original, you know, like, first map, third-person PUBG had that I feel like no other BR has been able to capture. Tarkov, I just can't comment on.
For the mid-core crowd, and it nails that balance. You have a pet rooster that goes out and brings back materials. You can dismantle in the field so you can make room for more loot. And yes, unlike Marathon, Arc Raiders actually has proximity chat. Embark doesn't think that they need to insulate their players from one another for safety.
Removing proximity chat because you're worried about toxicity.
Okay, it's one of those. Got it.
Remember what I was saying before about like androgynous characters? That's it. That's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear. That's it. It's over.
This game contains loud noises.
Game's dead. It's a soy game. It's garbage.
Reasons. It's like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again. If you do not include proximity chat in a game about tension and human interaction, you do not understand the genre that you're making. And you know what proves that? My experience with it. I went into a match under-equipped. I didn't have any ammo with me. I got into a firefight, used all the rounds that were in my gun, and I bluffed my way out of it by role-playing as a grizzly man with a southern tone for some reason. I have the meds and the rounds to do this all day. Walk away and I'll let you off. And for whatever reason, the other player believed me, and they let me walk away. Funny enough, I bumped into somebody else at the extraction point, and I just told them the truth straight out. I have no ammo. I'm just trying to get my quest done. They let me extract, and we ended up joining up to play the next round together. That's what these games are about. That's why people play them. Immersive storytelling, player agency, memorable moments. You compare that to Marathon, a game where you're completely isolated in a world that's designed to be antisocial. It's ironic. Bungie helped define cooperative multiplayer in the modern era. They're the
No. Bungie brought cooperative online multiplayer to the mainstream audiences for Halo 2. Halo 2 mainstreamed online gameplay. That was it. Like, you had people playing CS on PC, but like, I'm talking about mainstream.
Whoa, don't
Everybody
bring
had
back
fucking
it through.
Xbox Live. That right there was the beginning.
Okay, add milk.
Like, that was it, bro. Like, Halo 3 was it for me. No, Halo 3 refined it. But like, think about that. In 2004, because Halo 2 came out in November 2004. Back then, even people were playing online. That's insane to think about.
We can only deliver drinks to
Literally
customers
over
after
20 years ago.
ones that pretty much gave us LAN parties for the most part with the Halo days. And
Yes.
now they're making a game that actively suppresses that connection. That speaks volumes. And it's because Marathon isn't a product of inspiration or iteration. It's a live service mold that's filled with monetization systems. It exists to chase trends. It exists to tick boxes. It exists to sell, not be played. And that's the key difference between Bungie and Embark Studios right now. Yes, Arc Raiders and the Finals are live service games, but they feel like games first. Even the Finals brought something
The
fresh.
entire premise of a live service game being the problem is invented by bad video games that have cynical design systems that use live service systems that are unfun. Live service is never the problem. It's never been the problem. The problem is bad design.
It wasn't Overwatch. It wasn't another Call of Duty clone. People may have moved on from the game. It's definitely not topping the Steam charts, but you would be hard-pressed to find players that hated it. It earned respect. Marathon won't earn a thing. Bungie is doing what so many studios are doing right now, iterating on monetization, not on gameplay. They're not refining systems, they're refining a storefront. They don't care if the experience is good. They care if you keep grinding, spending, and logging in. And I swear, I'm going to start making a new catchphrase after this one. When you forget about the players, they forget about you. And they already have. Both Marathon and Arc Raiders had their limited closed access tests at the exact same time. Bungie could not keep players in the game. Meanwhile, Arc
Look
Raiders
at Marathon's winning. See, it has one player.
was overflowing with demand. Marathon bled players daily.
The one player was it was a lawyer from the Bungie legal department, and they were trying to find all the instances of stolen art. And the other guy that was also doing the same thing had to go home for the day.
Arc Raiders had players begging for more. They're still begging for more. The vibe shift in the gaming community is loud and clear. Nobody is interested in Marathon.
Nobody
That
cares.
conversation is over. And that is not a good sign for Bungie, especially when you consider how niche this genre already is. Extraction shooters, by design, are not built for mass appeal. They are punishing high-stakes and time-insensitive games, not for casual audiences who do not have a lot of time already and just want to have fun. Yet here we are watching major studios throw their entire futures into this space, convinced that they have found the next big live service cash cow. This is not just disconnected, it is completely delusional. What were your...
Well, you just look at the way they make their characters.
Actually curious. Do y'all
That's
like
it.
Simple yes.
You don't do that unless you're a retard. It's actually that simple. Yeah, I mean, like, really, like, yeah, I mean, you can't even figure out the characters. You can't even make the characters look appealing.
Been a lot of never heard
Do
it,
you think
but
you're going to be able to figure out a
Oh
game?
wow, I wasn't expecting to see such a
Fuck
beautiful
no.
lady behind the counter. Any drink will do as long as
we're seeing right now is the result of panic.
Yeah, but America going to come out with last week. No, a lot of people hated on me for this. Everybody, this is when the marathon, the big video that they did came out, and I said that the game was garbage because the characters weren't fuckable, and everybody was mad at me, and they said I was a gooner, and I was like, you know, like a weirdo, a creep, and everything, and they're right. So,
Also, you look really cute.
Oh, lovely.
yeah, That's it. Doesn't matter.
Why not?
Literally doesn't matter. Like you like whatever insult you can give doesn't matter. I'm still right. Like it's still true, and
Why would I do that?
no
I don't
amount
know.
of
It doesn't look
crying,
that bad.
insulting,
Right?
you know,
He's
these
got
like
confidence.
weird
He's
patronizing
dressed
comments.
nicely.
Not a single one of them is ever gonna make a dent in that
Sure.
reality.
Sweet. Now
Publishers
it's
that are
over to
scrambling to try to
Shop.
predict whatever the next trend is,
See what
trying
I'm
to
saying? Look at
stake
that
their
tip.
claim before the gold rush ends, but instead of innovating or understanding what these genres and trends are, they're just pouring money into these things and making these watered down versions of games that only ever had niche appeal to begin with. And I think this is where Embark Studios really stands out, because I genuinely do think that Arc Raiders has a bright future. Not just because the game is fun, but because the team behind it is clearly smarter with their budget and more grounded in their expectations. The finals reportedly cost less than $100 million for them to make, and there is no way that Arc Raiders blew past that number by much. It's lean, it's focused, and it's built for players who are actually going to play it. But even still, I don't see the appeal here for the big publishers. This is a genre that has a ceiling. Most casual players are not going to be signing up to get dunked on in a high-stakes PvEVP gauntlet. They do not want to spend hours buying materials, building up gear, planning for some big PvE encounter, only to get...
I'm one of those people. Like if I play an extraction shooter and then I lose my stuff, I don't want to play anymore. That's it. I just don't want to do that. Like even if it's my fault, like I don't really care. I just would rather do something else with my time. Like that's it. Like PUBG. Well, no, because each thing in PUBG was
Let's cut through the flames.
like it was just each game was separated. Yeah, Helldivers 2 did a great job getting casual players. Yeah, and it was just a waste of time. Yeah, like for me, I feel like when I can't make progress in a game, and especially like for me, it's like losing progress in a game instantly makes me feel like I'm wasting my time playing.
One shot across the map by some third-party sniper while you're fighting a boss. Some players thrive on that. Some people really love that tension. Most people don't.
Yeah, I'm
log
one of the
in,
people
have
that
fun,
doesn't.
make progress, and
I
log
do not
out.
at all.
Distraction shooters do not respect
Time
that
to
kind of
bleed.
time.
I have tension in my real life. I do not want tension in my video games. Absolutely not.
Investment. They never
I'm
have.
allergic to
I mean, just look at Escape from Tarkov. That game was this job, right? It's considered a success. Gold standard for it, but it peaks at around 100,000 players a day. That's impressive for
That's
a
more
hardcore
like
niche
it.
title, but it's not the foundation you want to build a $300 million live service behemoth on. These studios think that they can expand their audience by softening the edges of these games and making the experience a bit more casual, but by
that actually does that does the opposite. Right?
doing so, they're missing the point. Because they're very good.
The edge was the point. The loss was the point. People play these games because
The bitter dregs.
that's the thing. It's like, and like I don't think that it's kind of like, this isn't a weird way to say it, is that I always thought Assassin's Creed lost its way with Valhalla because Valhalla appealed to me as a player. I don't like stealth games. I think that they're boring. So if I'm playing a game and it's a stealth game and I'm enjoying it and I'm excited about it, then we've got a problem.
Things that make these games compelling, the risk, tension, the player-driven stories, don't translate well when you strip them down for mass appeal. You're not left with a broader audience. You're going to be left with no audience at all.
That's right.
And I think that's the real tragedy for Marathon. Not that it's just a bad game, but it's a bad
And
game.
look at, for example, Baldur's Gate 3. They doubled down on being a niche game, and it worked because it was a good game.
Born out of desperation. It's corporate wishful thinking and playable
Balatro is another good example. Very niche game.
form. A studio chasing a trend it doesn't even understand in a genre that was never built to carry that much weight. It's not the next big thing, and it never will be. They need to stop trying to make the next big thing, and they need to go back to making the thing that they think is cool. That's how this all started. That's where all of this came from. That is the reason why Bungie left Microsoft and Xbox to begin. They wanted to reach beyond Halo. They wanted to do something different. They did that with Destiny.
Yeah.
It's just that like they kind of had to, and like that's why Halo Reach was like the last good game. Right? They did. What was it that they did? They had
Blade cut through the flames.
They shackled themselves to it. Now they shackled themselves to live service games all the time. Vegas.
It likes you.
Danger!
At this point, I mean, just pay somebody else to make it. It's clear that you guys
Harry!
don't want to. I just don't see a world where this game, not unless they push it back another 2 years and then approach it like it's Destiny 3. I know that sounds crazy, but these guys should be working off of their strengths. They should be making the games for the audience that they already do have.
If they make Destiny 3, I'll play Destiny 3. I don't give a fuck about Marathon anymore. Like, I'll play the Marathon when it comes out because it's like the new game that's coming out. But like, I'm not gonna get into it.
It's a much higher bias from the players and also from other players.
Right.
You should be working off of your strengths, your current customers, and not this imaginary audience that you guys think you can go after, especially when you're charging a premium price. I'm sitting here and I'm like, how is Nova made a true competitor to Borderlands or the Division? It's like those two games just exist out in the ether, and there's been a couple of ones where they've been like really knockoff kind of titles. If one of these companies actually put their foot down and made something like those games, it could do well. The only games that I know of, at least for live service games, is one Stupid, which I think is a really cool concept. They have a lot of really cool things about it. The game's really fun to play. Still has really cool things.
Try again.
Outside of that, First Descendant,
I talked to the guys that game.
You can't escape! You can do it!
why
It's
why one of the female characters of those
This will hurt.
The problem that the First Descendant also has is that
Get outta here.
basically every
Did you
single
not be able
girl
to
looks the
fix
same.
this? Hey, here's a little extra for your electric.
Like,
Thank
there
you.
isn't a lot of body diversity.
Actually, this is a good strategy.
And
Keep turning
I
the
think
lights
there's
on.
a huge problem with that, is that,
Maybe I'll
like,
put a
with a
tip
lot of
jar down.
gotcha games, right, you have the petite girls,
It's gonna be
and
the
you
creepy
farm the
guy,
guys that
yeah,
like
my
that,
number, fake number
and then
two.
you have the big titty
be mad. Or
girls,
it's
and
gonna
then you
be,
have the tall girls
what is
with,
wrong
like,
with your
the,
store?
you know, the
There's no
dommy
electricity.
mommy girls,
Anyway,
and
give
then
me
you
a
have the more
couple
muscular girls.
strawberry
And pretty much every girl in the
Easy.
First Descendant is just your traditional, you know, Korean swimsuit model, which is like, that's great, but this is like 11 different flavors of vanilla. You've got to have different flavors of ice
I
cream.
think you're right. I saw someone like fall down.
True? Yeah, I played the game a lot.
Is that a person? You think they're dead as fuck?
We're so cooked. Good God, man.
Strawberry milk.
Gooners can't keep it
Ooh.
together.
No.
Anyway, tell me what you guys think about all of this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a comment down below, share it with your friends, share it on social media.
Yep.
Subscribe to the channel, like the video, come follow me on Twitch, come follow me on Twitter, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Catch you in the next one.
Almost lost my first swimsuit. I couldn't even
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the Night Ranger, small boobs and fat ass girls are also good. No,
Oh,
and the thing
lovely.
is that every single
Thanks for
game
doing
like
your
that
job.
has that, right? And so, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'll link you guys a video. Like, I totally agree with what he's saying. People that think Marathon isn't cooked
guess I
after
should
this are
start
fucking
just
delusional.
making
Like, this
constant
made them
boba
look
teas and leaving them on the
so
side, 'cause I don't
fucking
lose
bad.
money, right?
The game release was awful. It was originally going to be
It's me
NDA.
against
They had to take it
It's
off
more
of
important that I
NDA because of how
electrical
bad the
maintenance.
reception
We
was.
shouldn't be experiencing
It
any
was
power outages.
really,
That's all.
really not good. And I'm not seeing things
Okay.
improve
Bungie is
at
cooked.
all.
This is like
for
watching a
Marathon.
train.
I'm not. I think Marathon is pretty much done. And it's been cooked since the gameplay
How
trailer?
old are they?
Yeah,
This
it
one's
has
been a
been.
really
As soon as
cozy
they started
vibe. How
showing those
many
characters
choices?
and
I don't even
everything
know where
like
to
that,
start.
people were just fucking done with it, man. Search up Haley First Descendant trailer. No, here's the problem, right? Is that every First Descendant character is just the same is just a slightly different version of a, you know, very attractive Korean swimsuit model. That's it. You need to have other versions of these characters. Like, if you look at, for example, I'll give you a good comparison. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm searching this. Okay. So let me just scroll down before this becomes an issue. Okay, let me see if I can find some of these. No, a lot of this is just literal fucking porn. I was trying to find the swimsuit leagues for what do you call it? For Wuthering Waves, right? And so like for Wuthering Waves, the character design is very different. And so like and that's a game that I play a pretty good amount of time. So like for example, let me see, Wuthering Waves swimsuit. Okay, so let's take a look and we're gonna see some of these, right? And so you have a lot of these different characters that are very different, right? You have some of them, let's see if I can find a few more of these that are kind of new. There is the new swimsuit menu, right? And so you have all of these leaks are on Reddit. Well, I don't know if I want to look at Reddit, right? And so you have each character that looks different and they appeal to a different fantasy. And so with the First Descendant, the big problem that the First Descendant has is that every character design appeals to the exact same fantasy. Whereas like you can see, obviously Carlotta looks way different than this other character, right? Like this is a totally different body type. But if you use the exact same body type for every single character, you're going to get people that like they should hire you. They don't need to. They're making the right decisions. Yeah, like this one right here, right? There's another example. And so you have all of these different examples, like look at this. And you have Zanny, this is another one. And each one of them has its own appeal for different reasons. And so different proportions, sizes, etc. Most Wuthering Waves models have the same template. Yeah, but they're emphasized very differently. And that's what matters. And so we need more proof? No, I know that Sunless Sun Zero is a better example in my opinion. Well, they all are. All of the best gacha games farm all the different types of Coomers. They all do. They're all different types of Coomers that they're farming. I'll be right back, and then apparently, let me see if I can pull this up. There's if I can find it. This is gonna be good. Give me a minute. Okay. Gotta have a little bit of fun. I know, guys. Okay. I got a little bit of time. A little bit extra. It's got something else going on, as usual. So let's watch this. Hassan tells Mexican Asmongold fan that he would want him to perish. Gentlemen. Here we go.
Asmon Gold on top.
Why do you even read these? Why do you read these? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Like, just stop. Like, this is embarrassing. Stop it.
Bro, Asmongold thinks dudes that look like you should perish.
I want to kill Mexicans too. Oh jeez. Oh wow. Oh god. What do you say? What do you do? To dudes that look like you. Yeah, I guess so. That's why I'm friends with a lot of dudes that look like him. You know what they say? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
From the national borders of this country, and he's literally he's like,
right.
Asmongold be like, you're close enough in San Diego, might as well move to the other side of the border, and this motherfucker's in here being like,
what?
Riding.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where San Diego is. I would have never said that because I don't know where the fuck San Diego is. I guess it's probably close to Mexico. And I think it's in California, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's down there. Yeah, see, I wouldn't have said that. I don't even know where it is. What an idiot.
For him. Oh my lord. Oh, amazing.
Is that it?
Baited W clout, Asmongold on top.
Oh god. So, Hassan is now the arbiter of if Mexicans can like me or not. That's great. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
You're a chatter. You're a chatter fighting his battles in this chat. Who do you think is more pathetic in this regard? And the person that you're defending is under normal circumstances, if you were to show his content or commentary to like average people in your life, they would probably think less of you.
Well,
We're okay for some mayhem.
there's a lot of people that watch the videos. There's a lot of people. And the thing is, like, maybe all
Why, yes, I'd love a dance.
but there sure are a lot of people that are wrong. It's surprising, right? I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people that are wrong. It feels like there's more of them every day. Also, by the way, I've had.
Let's carve a path.
This is what's really sad. So this is how wrong.
Radiance awaits.
So I recently
Bring it
went
on.
to an anime convention with Himmer, Hector, Ms. Kip, and
Ready to strike.
I had
Radiance
a bunch of
awaits.
girls coming up to me and saying my mom and my dad watched it. Can I get a photo of you? I can't believe it. How did this happen to me? I don't feel like Unk status. Stop, man.